I'm always grateful, and I have to pinch myself for the love and the appreciation and the respect that we get from our incredible audience.
She looking like I should have just ate that apple, bitch.
And it's so crazy that the princess, of course, the princess is pro-Palestinian and the evil queen is a Zionist. Of course. This is the perfect, it makes sense, so much sense.
Drama between actors on set is nothing new in Hollywood, but it seems Rachel Ziglar and Gadot may have taken it to a whole new level during the filming of Disney's live-action Snow White. The two actresses appear to be strongly at odds, with tension spilling over onto social media as shocking tweets begin to reveal how they really feel about each other. As the film's release draws closer, the rumored feud between Ziegler and Godot is generating nearly as much buzz as the movie itself. On screen, they play Snow White and the Evil Queen, two iconic opposites. Off-screen, however, it seems the rivalry runs even deeper, reportedly fueled by a far more serious and divisive issue: their opposing political views on the ongoing Middle East conflict. On August 10th, Disney released the first trailer for Snow White. But instead of being met with excitement, it sparked major controversy, not just for how the film looks or the backlash surrounding its creative direction, but because of the stars involved. Almost immediately, both Ziegler and Godot found themselves at the canter of a social media firestorm. Critics and fans alike began weighing in, some targeting Ziegler's portrayal of Snow White, while others criticized both actresses over their off-screen behavior and political positions. Tensions behind the scenes of Snow White appear to go far beyond creative differences, reaching into deeply political territory. Gal Gadot's unwavering support for Israel may have created a major rift with Rachel Ziglar, who has been equally vocal in her support for Palestine. Some fans and critics have slammed both actresses and Disney for letting politics interfere with what was supposed to be a simple, nostalgic adaptation of a beloved animated classic. Many argue that the real-world political climate has no place in the fantasy world Disney was trying to recreate. Disappointment in Disney's handling of the film has only grown, not just due to the production itself, but also because of the chaos surrounding its promotion, largely fueled by the star's off-screen drama. "I'm a huge Disney fan, and this film looks good," one user wrote online. "But I can't ignore the fact that the lead actress clearly hates her own role. The press they did months ago completely killed my interest." That sentiment is spreading, as fans continue to lose trust in both the project and the people behind it. But perhaps the biggest concern isn't the film, it's the looming press tour. With Ziegler and Godot forced to appear side by side, many wonder how their opposing political views will affect their public dynamic. Things escalated even further when, just 2 days after the trailer dropped, Rachel Ziglar took to Twitter to thank fans for their support, and then added a politically charged statement. "And always remember, free Palestine." For some, this reaffirmed Ziegler's long-standing pro-Palestinian stance. For others, it seemed like a veiled shot at her co-star. After all, Gal Gadot is not only Israeli, but a former member of the Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, and she has consistently expressed strong pro-Israel views. Ziegler is fully aware of this, making the tweet feel even more pointed in context. With political tension bleeding into promotion and public discourse, what was supposed to be a magical reboot now looks more like a battlefield, both on screen and off. While Rachel Ziglar and Gal Gadot have wrapped filming and even appeared together in past press events, it's becoming increasingly clear that their off-screen relationship has grown more strained, mirroring the rising political tensions across the world. As global conflicts intensify, so have the public statements and subtle jabs between the two actresses, especially on social media. For those closely following the ongoing drama, Rachel's recent Free Palestine tweet wasn't exactly a shock. She has been vocally pro-Palestinian for years, with her earliest public posts on the issue dating back to 2021, well before the most recent escalations. In fact, that year she tweeted, "It will always be Free Palestine." Since the outbreak of the 2023 Israel-Hamas war, she's doubled down on that position, using her platform to encourage activism and push for a ceasefire. Her posts include links to donation resources, calls to action, and messages urging her millions of followers to go beyond social media and pressure political leaders. Have you donated today? Have you called your government officials? Your activism should go beyond your social media. Ziegler's feed has become a hub of advocacy, making her stance unmistakably clear. In contrast, Gal Gadot's support for Israel has been just as visible and just as intense. Ever since rising to global fame through Wonder Woman, Godot has used her influence to show solidarity with her homeland. She's repeatedly expressed pride in her Israeli identity and has never been shy about her Zionist beliefs. A former combat fitness instructor in the Israeli Defense Forces (IDF), Gadot's military background has deeply shaped how she sees the conflict. Her social media history shows a consistent pattern of support for Israel, dating as far back as 2014, with posts that praise Israeli resilience and encourage support for the nation's military. 2 stars, 2 ideologies, 1 movie. As Snow White inches toward release, the real story may not be what's on screen, but the silent war being waged between its 2 leading ladies. Gal Gadot's support for Israel hasn't just been consistent, it's been deeply personal and increasingly vocal. One of her earliest public declarations came during a past conflict, when she posted on Facebook, "I am sending my love and prayers to my fellow Israeli citizens, especially to all the boys and girls who are risking their lives protecting my country against the horrific acts conducted by Hamas, who are hiding like cowards behind women and children. We shall overcome. Shabbat Shalom." Over the years, her advocacy has only intensified. In 2021, when violence once again erupted between Israel and Palestine, Gal expressed sorrow over the suffering, but remained firm in her stance. She reiterated her belief in Israel's right to exist as a free and safe nation. And in 2023, after Hamas's October 7th attacks, her message became even more pointed. She posted to Instagram, "I stand with Israel. And you should too. The world cannot sit on the fence when these horrific acts of terror are happening." She went further, signing an open letter to US President Joe Biden, demanding action for the release of Israeli hostages. She even helped organize a screening of Bearing Witness, a documentary capturing Israel's account of the October 7th attacks. Her actions left no room for ambiguity. Gal Gadot stands firmly on one side of a war that continues to divide public opinion across the globe. Given the deeply opposing views between her and Rachel Ziglar, it's no surprise that fans are growing anxious about how the Snow White press tour will play out. The 2 actresses are now seen as symbols of polar opposite ideologies. And while they haven't openly called each other out by name, the cryptic posts and subtle jabs have not gone unnoticed. After the Snow White trailer was released, and Rachel followed up with a Free Palestine tweet, Gal posted a quote to her Instagram story that many fans interpreted as a direct response. "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that." Martin Luther King Jr. She added, "Only love can save the world." Though she didn't mention Rachel by name, the timing and tone was enough to spark speculation. Was this a clapback? A passive-aggressive warning? Fans were divided, but many agreed it was personal. Then, on August 15th, things took a more explicit turn when a fan noticed. And then came the moment that left no room for doubt. Gal Gadot, or someone from her team, retweeted a post that directly criticized Rachel Ziglar's political messaging. The tweet read, "Trying to campaign on the head of your co-star, who actually lives through a war, just so you'll look cooler with the kids is really pathetic." Although the retweet was quickly undone, the damage had been done. A fan who caught the retweet immediately screenshotted it and commented, "Pretty sure the Snow White press tour is going to get even more awkward than the It Ends With Us drama." Now fans are questioning whether Gal manages her own social media, or if this was a PR team misstep that revealed their real feelings about Rachel. Either way, the message was loud and clear. There's serious behind-the-scenes tension. Speculation has also grown that Gal's team believes Rachel is intentionally using her political activism to spite Gal, not just to speak out for a cause. While Rachel's supporters argue her statements are deeply rooted in personal conviction and activism, Gal's camp seems to interpret them as opportunistic and inflammatory. Adding more fuel to the fire, fans have noticed that Gal's Instagram has become a breeding ground for anti-Rachel sentiment. While Gal has limited or deleted comments critical of herself, hateful remarks about Rachel have been left untouched. Some even suggest this selective moderation speaks volumes. Despite all the cryptic posts, subtweets, and subtle snipes, neither actress has publicly acknowledged any feud. They are still putting on a professional front, for now. But with the Snow White press tour about to begin, the real question is, can 2 actresses on opposite sides of a global conflict pretend to be friendly co-stars, under the spotlight of the entire world? As the film's release inches closer, fans aren't just watching for the movie, they are watching the drama unfold. And if early signs are anything to go by, the worst may be yet to come.
It's just a press tour with Gal. I free her! She looking like I should have just ate that apple.
Public reaction to the Disney Expo made one thing painfully clear. The tension between Rachel Ziglar and Gadot isn't just a rumor anymore, it's visible. Attendees and online viewers alike picked up on what many described as Rachel pulling back from Gal, emotionally and physically. Rachel Ziglar genuinely cannot stand her, one fan wrote. You can see the energy leave her body whenever they are in the same room. Others pointed out that Rachel's once excited attitude toward the film has clearly dimmed. She was thrilled about Snow White, but now, she looks exhausted, and Gal seems to be the reason. Still, some critics flipped the narrative. They reminded people that Rachel knew who Gal was, and what she stood for, before signing on. Must be nice to have fans who make up excuses for you working with Zionists, one user posted. She didn't need to save herself, she just needed to not take the job. The conversation has turned increasingly polarized, with Rachel's defenders urging compassion and Gal's critics calling out what they view as willful ignorance. But regardless of which side you're on, one thing is certain. The Snow White press tour is now one of the most awkward, high-stakes PR events in recent Disney history. Can the two leading ladies share red carpets and interviews without letting their real-life conflict boil over in front of cameras? Or will this be the moment their quiet Cold War turns into a full-on public fallout? We'll all find out soon enough, because the countdown to premiere night has already begun.